It is Tuesday vendor time. Let's see what we have. Let's start with the Scholarium.
You'd be
We have Bound Affix Script Cowardice adds Cowardice, a debuff reducing weapon and spell damage. Bound Focus Script Mitigation adds damage reduction. Bound Focus Script Restore Resources adds resource restoration. And Bound Signature Script Growing Impact adds enhanced buff and debuff application. Let's head over to Imperial City and see what the Telvar Merchant has. We are now in Imperial City sewers.
keep throwing more.
Let's skip jewelry for now. We have Shadowfen Treasure Map. I would not recommend 6,000 Telvar for this one, but if you're curious, Shadowfen drops Hatchling's Shell, Ropes of the Hiss, and Swamp Raider. You will also have a chance of getting the lead for either Ancestral Nord, Daggers, or Shoulders. All right, our scripts. Bound Affix Script Lifesteal adds Lifesteal, a debuff granting healing to attackers. Bound Focus Script Mitigation adds damage reduction. And Bound Signature Script Immobilizing Strike adds an immobilization effect. Next up, we have Elemental Storm Violent Purple Skill Style. This one you just buy in the Undaunted Enclave from Madge for 40 Undaunted keys. Of course, you can find the Undaunted Enclaves in Deshawn, Grotwood, or Stormhaven. Let's go ahead and do our jewelry. We have Alessian's necklace and ring, as well as impregnable neck and ring. Of course, impregnable comes in healthy, robust, and arcane, so there's 3 options for each. Then we have our leads. Buoyant Steel. This one is for the Thracian Strangler's Mythic. This particular one comes from Saltwater Fishing in Strauss Mackay, which I don't feel is too terribly difficult. I don't think this one's worth the 25,000 Telvar. And then Shadowy Creatia Stitching. This is for Shadow Queen's Cowl. This particular lead comes from the Westweald Delve Haldane Lumber Camp off the boss. Haldane can be a little bit of a maze. I don't know that it's particularly worth it, but it is here if that's something you don't want to mess with. All right, let's head to Infinite Archive. Let's see what Filer Ul has.
You see this area?
First up is our treasure map, which is from Stonefalls. Again, not really worth 2,000 archival fortunes. You can get them at Guild Traders cheap enough. But if you're curious, Stonefalls gives us Shadow of the Red Mountain, Shock Exoskeleton, and Silks of the Sun, as well as a chance for leads for the Ancestral Nord, Bows, or Chess. Next up, we have our Leowyn Turret Castle pattern. This one drops pretty easily and therefore is a lot cheaper than some of the other purple patterns, retailing for about 4,500 to 5,500 gold on PCNA at least. I don't think that's worth it compared to 2,000 archival fortunes. I would just go buy this one at the traders. Next up, we have our Orcish Nightstand Engraved. This one is worth quite a bit. So this one I do think is worth 2,000 archival fortunes if it is one you still need. Next up, we have our scripts. Bound Affix Script Brittle adds Brittle, a debuff increasing critical damage taken. Bound Affix Script Empower adds Empower, a buff increasing heavy attack damage. Bound Focus Script Taunt adds a Taunt. And Bound Signature Script Fencer's Parry adds deflection of next direct damage attack. Our style page this week is the Tremor Scale Mask. Tremor Scale Mask drops out of Fallen Fell, but remember it is a time-sensitive drop. Once they come back around, it only drops for about 4 days. I think the RNG on these are just horrible, and I will likely spend the archival fortunes for it. Next up, Companion Equipment Light Armor. Remember, these are bound when you get them. You're at the mercy of RNG to determine which trait you get. I usually skip these. Next up, Delver's Alessia Deck Fragment. This is part of the Saint Alessia deck. This one drops from Delve bosses in Westweald. I don't think this one's particularly difficult to get. Hopefully you already have it, but if not, it is here for 3,000 archival fortunes. Next up, our leads. Don't buy this one. Please do not buy this one. It is another one of those static leads that you just walk up to the location, in this case in Blackwood, and you pick it up. Easy as that. Just walk over to it and grab it. Compared to what it would take to get 5,000 archival fortunes, just don't buy it. Our next one, however, is Promise of the Circle's Leather. which is part of the Stormweaver's Covort Mythic. This one you get from the daily reward coffers for doing Galen dailies. This one might be worth it. I haven't found the drop rate on this to be terribly fantastic, so this one I would probably just buy. Next, we have mummified Elfique parts. 10 of these give you your very own grizzly mummy tabby. It's not the prettiest of pets, but it is a free pet. The drop rate is pretty good. I would probably just go farm it in Northern Elsewhere in the Rimond Acropolis public dungeon. But if you don't want to, 3,000 archival fortunes, even 30,000 if you bought all 10 of them, it's really not horrible. So I like this pattern. Clockwork Illuminator Personal Desk. This one's really handy. See it a lot over paintings in people's houses. It's just a really nice pattern. And it retails for 75 to 100,000 gold on PCNA. I think this one's a good buy at 2,000 archival fortunes. Next up, our books, The Currency of Secrets. This one drops out of Infinite Archive, and the eidetic memory is in Apocrypha. This one has not dropped before, I don't believe. So this one might be one that you need. This one, however, I have several. It is from Infinite Archive. The eidetic memory is in Infinite Archive. I have 4 of these on NA now. I have a feeling this one has a pretty good drop rate. I might skip this one. And our final item is Unreliable Archive Map. Consume 20 Unreliable Archive Maps to unlock the peer into the Mirror Maze achievement and the Shattered Mirror Maze face marks. Here's your face marks. You will get these from doing your dailies eventually at 3,000 archival fortunes when you need 20 of them. This one gets pretty spendy, so I would probably just keep working on those dailies. All right, now comes the time when we run a couple arcs of Infinite Archive because we get new gear dropping each week. So let's go see what that is. Oh, the imp, the imp. She almost died too fast. That would have been bad. We just ran a couple arcs of Infinite Archive, and this week we have gear dropping from Cold Harbor. That includes Meridia's Blessed Armor, Prisoner's Rags, and Stygian, as well as from Apocrypha, Adamant Lurker, Kimono Tong, and Vivek's Duality. Just a quick reminder that if you don't own Apocrypha or Necrom, you will not be able to get the Apocrypha gear. Everything that will drop will be from Cold Harbor. Okay, that's it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.